Oh, Mondays. My God. Mondays. I'm sure at this time of day, what is it, 6, Eastern Standard Time. For some of you, it might be even later. That, the day's probably taking a toll on you, as much of a toll on you as it has on me. So let's see what we can do here about winding it down a little bit. As Sam would say,
let's slow it down. Let's slow it way down.
what's going on in the news? Let me see. Entertainment news, anyway. I'm not bothering with regular news. That's for serious journalist people, right? How many people died in, I don't know, Israel and Palestine and all these different things. I'll leave that to them. I have enough stress in my life, and I'm pretty much sure that you have enough stress in your life than to have to deal with the woes of the world, right? So that's probably one of the reasons why you come here, so that we get to pretend to be outraged and super serious about stuff of of zero consequence compared to lives lost in like Israel or whatever. Anyhow, welcome to the Bro Top Show.
You, turn around.
You prefer the view from behind?
No, well, yes. You know I can't lie.
I love that we have so many comic creators in the house. Freeman Comics is here. Uh, I can barely pronounce your name as per usual, Mortune Zurix, but he's also a comic creator. At the middle or towards the end of the show, I'm going to need you guys to post up anything that you want to promote. I'm sure you guys are working on something that's fire. Each of you, Julius Freeman and Mortune Zurix, right? Not to mention Tank Ferret. I mean, this show at this point almost exists to promote Tank Ferret and the Brain Cage crew, right? Greg Levitre, and the Brain Cage fellas. Now, let's get into it, shall we? Today's topic is these things are interrelated. I'm gonna make connections tonight that between things that you haven't necessarily thought are connected, and between people and characters that you don't necessarily believe are linked. When we're talking about cancellation, we're talking about a lot of different things. In fact, the topic we had yesterday was a form of cancellation. When you have a character that's been historically white or male or what have you, and then you suddenly switch them out, it is a form of cancellation. You're admonishing or casting aspersions on the previous personality, and you're saying this new personality is the approved personality from the party. Welcome to the party. And I don't mean it in the cool way that John McClane said to Carl Winslow in Die Hard 1. I mean welcome to the party, like the political party, the one that's taken over. One of the YouTubers that I watch or used to watch on a regular basis, his name is John Hembling. He made a series of videos concerning cancellation, and he had said something on the order of, you can't be disinvited to the party, you are the party. I'd like to kind of add on to that, but I will do that at the end of my little spiel here. Let me see who's coming in. When you think of cancellation, I don't think any other actor is more of an iconic example of cancellation, right? Than Gina Carano. But damn, girl. You know, this reminds me when I was trafficking a little contraband from Takadana all the way to Tatooine, and I thought Tatooine had no law enforcement, so I was like, you know what? Let me sell a little something, something. You know what I mean? Come to find out, they did have law enforcement. It's just undercover. You know, they just released the footage of my court date after Cara Dune arrested me.
He had the defendant on tape selling marijuana to a female undercover police officer on several different occasions. He had no problem whatsoever hitting on the undercover officer on the audio tape, trying to pick her up and saying, "Girl, you're thicker than a bowl of oatmeal."
Thicker than a bowl of oatmeal?
Hey, she had a fat ass, you know what I mean? I want to see.
Cause damn, Cara, man, or Gina Carano, you gotten thick as hell. You know I'm a black man. What you doing to me? But that still is from an interview from I think the Daily Wire or something like that with Ben Shapiro. The reason why I brought this up, I mean, the cheap joke aside, but the reason why I brought this up and why I have this still here is this is the exact moment when she was explaining that when she was canceled or in the process of being canceled, the heads over at Disney had called her up and they put her on some sort of conference line. And they were going to have a bunch of gay, lesbian, trans people because of what Gina Carano had said online that was misinterpreted and blown out of proportion and framed to be homophobic, transphobic, and all these different things. They lined all these people up so that those people can yell at her. And then they were going to film it. This is the part of the interview where she explained that they were going to do this to her. And she said no. I told you there'll be things connected tonight that you didn't necessarily think are connected. BLM, Black Lives Matter, not so much a sentiment but more the movement that's out there. There are three BLMs. There's a sentiment, Black Lives Matter, and believe it or not, white people, black people, even the people who say all lives matter, the ones who are not trolling, the people who say all lives matter and mean it, they also believe in the sentiment that Black Lives Matter. But the remaining two forms of BLM, right, are the movement that's online and out in the streets, accosting people, doing this sort of thing. And there's the third form of BLM, which is the business. And if you want to know about that, just go ahead and check the website and you'll see that it's a whole grift. But the second form of BLM is what I'm actually connecting to what Disney tried to do to Gina Carano. What they tried to do is called a struggle session. Okay? And historically, it's nothing new. It has a long precedence, a very strong precedent back in Maoist China, perhaps. Let me give an example here. I have brought up let me see who's in the house before I even continue and proceed. Demented for Fun. Do you have anything to promote tonight? My brother or sister, I don't know, women can be demented for fun also. You know, just come on through and then we can promote you guys. All right. But when these people accosted the diners on the street, as you can see, the Black Lives Matter people here, I'm black, I'm not even out there. You see the majority of people who are out there, these are rich kids. Let me talk to my people for a second. Black Lives Matter, the sentiment, is something everyone agrees with because we all respect human life. Oh, except for the scumbags. They don't respect human life. Scumbags come in all variety. So we'll square that aside for a second. But when we say BLM, we're talking about these psychos and some black ones, okay? They don't have your best interest at heart. Someone like this, you see the girl in the middle with the bun and some sort of yellow band across her head, and then the dude with the, I don't know what kind of shape that is on his chest, sticking his fist up like he just won the Olympics in 1976. Now, when you have these sorts of people, they do not give anything. I'm trying to keep it clean. They don't give a flying for crying out loud about you. Okay? These are privileged kids. When I say privileged, I mean money. I don't mean it in the sense that the SJW said. I mean money. These are kids who, after they make the streets hot for your ass, after they make the streets hot for you, like they throw Molotov cocktails into parked police vehicles, throw a rock and hide their hand, or even worse, probably point to your black ass, make the streets hot for you, cops beating you upside the head with all good reason because you're the one who they saw. They saw your black ass and their car's on fire. So you gonna get this this billy club upside the head. You gonna get this taser. You feel me? Because they don't know. They thought it was you. Usually it's these folk right here. And after they make the streets hot for you, they go back to Bel Air or wherever the fuck they at. Oh God, I tried not to. Good Lord. I tried to keep it clean. They go back to their gated communities, to their high-priced condos, to their mansions, wherever. But they made the streets hot for you out there. So that's just a little side note concerning this image, which angers me. So they're accosting another white woman. Maybe she's Hispanic, but most likely she's white. They're accosting another. You know what? She's probably white, because if she was a brown person, these white BLM people would not. They would not accost her like this. They would step to the side because they believe in something called the progressive stack. Okay? So people who are quote unquote the most aggrieved, the most oppressed, they have the primary voice. So if somebody has the whole deck of cards, they're disabled, they're black, they're gay, they're transsexual, they're what else is out there? They're immigrants. I say disabled already. All these different things all together crumpled up in one package or one tortilla. If that person exists, he or she or they should be speaking. Speak. Till the sun goes supernova, they'll get to speak, and no one else gets to say a word. If this woman here they're accosting were Hispanic or black, these guys wouldn't be here in front of her. So she's white. Anyhow, these privileged white kids who are accosting this white woman here, they're not doing you any favors, and they're engaging in something called a struggle session, where in order to get you to understand what a struggle session is, those of you who've never heard of it, some of you are quite educated and quite savvy. Most likely you've heard of it already. But let's see. Hell yeah, Tank. Oh yeah, let's keep it real, right? Yeah, I tried not to swear tonight, man. YouTube be tripping. You feel me? But let me see what's going on here. Let me actually get into reading so that you guys can understand, those of you who don't know what a struggle session is and how it connects to cancellation, right? Those of you who don't get that, you'll get it after this. It's reading time with your Negro, Brotep. We're gonna go here for a minute. Give me a minute. Now, struggle session. I'm hoping to dear God that my StreamYard will cooperate with this, because a lot of times when I have these many tabs open, it's a problem. Struggle session. I had a lot to do today, as you can tell. It's not just about these live streams. Struggle sessions. They were a form of public humiliation and torture by the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, at various times in the Mao era. particularly during the years immediately before and after the establishment of the People's Republic of China, PRC, and during the Cultural Revolution. The aim of struggle sessions was to shape, I need y'all to pay attention. Please pay attention. The aim of struggle sessions were to the aim. Okay, yeah, that's the singular. Okay, good. That agrees with my OCD almost acted up there. The aim of struggle sessions was to shape public opinion, as well as humiliate, persecute, or execute political rivals and those deemed class enemies. It's exactly what's happening here, where they would accost white people, random white people who are sitting down trying to have a meal, or even white-looking people. Let's say you're Meghan Markle or whatever. You're asked out. You asked out. Hey, you black and you look white by any indication, so you asked out. They're gonna cost you too. So that connects to cancellation. How? Well, during the midst of cancellation, there will be a struggle session. Believe it or not, there will be, whether it's digital or in person. Digital, that would mean or denote social media. So when you get people like this, give me a second here. Let me get right with y'all. And I will get to the question at hand. Can you ever be uncancelled? And you'll be surprised at the answer, because the answer is both good news and bad news. In fact, it's great. It's both great news and terrible news, right? So this guy, Chris Pratt, there are many reasons why he was being, I don't know, canceled or whatnot. But when he was being canceled, he was accosted online and he was humiliated. All those different things that I said here, tortured, right? Every word he said, he couldn't grovel enough. And the thing is, he didn't really, to his credit, he didn't grovel the way that John Cena groveled, right? He just pretty much said, "Hey, these are my beliefs." No, 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 no. You don't get to have beliefs, Chris. No, you don't get to have beliefs. You have to have the approved party view. The approved party view. That's what you get. Now shut up, sit down, and I don't know, eat some hemp tacos or something, whatever the hell that lefties eat, right? Believing in cow farts, after listening to AOC and all that stuff. Now, with this guy here, the reason why he was getting canceled, for example, was that he happened to be part of a denomination of a church. At least that's one of the reasons. Let me go into that right now. Why? And look at this. R.I.P. Chris Pratt. You believe this? They believe that it's social death. Do you guys get this? They are aiming for this to be social death. They will kill your social life and your economic life and all these different aspects of you if you don't toe the political line. Why R.I.P. Chris Pratt is trending and why people are mad at the Avengers star again. R.I.P. Chris Pratt is trending on Twitter again. It's unclear why, but it might be related to a controversy in 2020. You could have said back in 2020. On Wednesday morning, the hashtag RIP Chris Pratt started to trend on Twitter, and there's not a clear reason why. What happened? The hashtag, how many times are you going to say this, popped up on Twitter. Several of the tweets included people sharing reactions to Pratt, criticizing him and dissing him. You're not black, don't use that word. I'm just kidding. You could use whatever you want, but just had to throw that in there because this is who you guys are. You people, not my listeners, obviously. You people believe in these sorts of things. If you've brought back segregation. You've brought back segregation. If you're one particular group, you cannot say something that is descriptive or even related to another group or even what the other group uses colloquially. Dissing him in multiple ways. There aren't any single event that sparked the hashtag. Let me repeat this again. What happened? They don't know. There aren't any single event or events. There wasn't any single event that sparked the hashtag. They disliked his personhood, his personality. They disliked who he is. He is not party political approved. He's not approved by the party. Several tweets compared Chris Pratt to the other Chris, like Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth, to the other Chris's then, Chris Hemsworth. Still, there was no singular news event that created the hashtag, and no, Chris Pratt did not die. Connection to previous controversy. Back in October, Pratt, known for his roles in Guardians of the Galaxy as well as Parks and Recreation, was slammed by social media platform by the was slammed by the social media platform. You're welcome. The Deseret was slammed by the social media platform after he didn't join his fellow Avengers in a fundraiser for Joe Biden, according to Deseret News. You know, I need to repeat this again? Can I repeat it again? The hashtag, the hashtag started the previous controversy where they were canceling him. That one started because he didn't show up for a fundraiser. That's it. That's it. Social media. Give me a second here. Social media thought his absence was evidence that he supported President Donald Trump. I didn't think that the entirety of social media was anti-Trump, but apparently it is, according to this. Social media thought his absence was evidence that he supported Donald Trump. President Donald Trump. Then President Donald Trump. Oh my God. How do you guys get by on this sort of bad writing? All of that discussion spiraled into a conversation about Pratt's Christian faith and the church he attends. So it starts with him not showing up to support Joe Biden. And then they're like, hey, while we're here, we showed up for the hot dogs. Let's stay for the burgers. We showed up for the beer. Let's stay for the hard liquor. He didn't join his fellow Avengers to support Joe Biden. Therefore, let's now go into his Christian faith. At the time, people also compared Pratt to other Chris celebrities, such as Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pine. There are a lot of you guys named Chris. I'm wondering if that's a theme. I'll do a playful kind of video on that later. All these Chris's. Responses. In response, Marvel actor Robert Downey Jr. ripped cancel culture in defense of Pratt, according to the Washington Times. What a world, Downey Jr. wrote on social media. The sinless are casting stones at my brother, Chris Pratt, a real Christian who lives by principle, has never demonstrated anything but positivity and gratitude. And I'm hearing that, by the way. People who know him personally, you know the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon kind of thing. So people who have interviewed him, they're like, this is the best guy in the world. Like, you want to have a beer with him immediately. Just like what's that guy who died? Rest in peace to him, from the Fast and Furious, Paul Walker. And he just married into a family that makes space for civil discourse and just plain facts, insists on a service as highest value. Related, what happened? Zoe Saldana, who portrays Gamora alongside Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy, shared a quote on, all these on support. But as you can see, it doesn't take much in order for you to be canceled. You just need to not be pro dominant political party. If you're not in line with the party, you're done. You're over with. It's over. Now, with Chris Pratt being out of the way for a minute, and his cancellation didn't work, by the way. Marvel's making too much money off of Chris, man. What are you guys thinking? You think this corporation? See, the other thing is, let me talk to the cancelers for a second. I know that odds are you don't listen to my show, but just in case you run into it, I'm addressing you right now. The the cancelers. Do you really think that Marvel, the WB, and these all these other firms believe in your cause? No, they don't. You have managed to bamboozle them into thinking that your way is the new way going forward. And that's why they let you have your way sometimes. But if money comes in the way, believe me, you're out the door. Hell, you're out the window. They won't even bother. They won't even bother opening a window to let your ass out. If it comes between you hashtag activist nonsense people, and these corporations making money, they'll show you the door or window, and they don't care if it's open or closed. Okay? So I was just addressing you. But to get back to the topic here, all these cancellations, they are connected to the dominant party. And Greg Levitt of Brain Cage, he postulated some ideas of who might be responsible for the party. I don't know, but his ideas are worth exploring, which I will. Not here, but personally, I will, in order to see how it aligns with my analysis. Whether it's you're a comedian who makes raunchy, blue jokes, or a comedian who made one tweet 10, 15 years ago, or an actress who was just having a little fun, beep, bop, boop, because all of you were running around with your preferred pronouns on your social media profiles and getting angry at other people who don't do it. It's one thing if you do it and then you're fine with, live and let live, but you're coming after her for not doing it. So she poked fun at it. Cancelled. Cancelled. Now, as to whether RIP that dollhouse, I don't know who that is. As to whether, give me a second, guys. I did not actually post the. Did I post the link to join? Perhaps I did, perhaps I didn't. But I do know that StreamYard was having problems and it did not allow me to pin the post. I put it up and it didn't let me pin it. Let me see if they'll let me pin it now. It'll let me pin it now. Just in case anyone wants to jump in here and promote their work, all these different things, because promotion never stops. You got to promote every day. That's what I've been told. And that's part of what I'll start doing now. Hey, Jose, what's going on?
Good evening, Bro Tap. How you doing today?
All right, I'm doing just fine, man. And how's your day going?
Well, actually, this is the first day of my vacation.
Okay, good on you. Is it a
So,
staycation? You're not going anywhere, right?
yeah, it's a staycation. I mean, it's extremely humid in New York. It's like in the mid 90s. So I'm just trying to limit my exposure outside.
Yeah, same as me. It feels like it's same as where I am. I'm on the eastern seaboard as well, and for some
Mhm.
reason it feels like you gotta. You ever make a mistake and leave your oven mitts inside the oven? Then when you come back and you take the oven mitt, even after you've cooled it off, you stick your hand in there. That's what it feels like, but for your whole body.
But
So it's like, yeah,
speaking about culture,
yeah.
cancel
There you go.
culture. I remember one committee meeting that I attended with my union. One member actually called me out for voting for Trump
Mm,
in 2016.
wow.
Now, I have the good sense of keeping it to myself for the most part. So it's like, she was like making an issue. I mean, I thought we were all allowed to make our own choices, even bad choices. Apparently,
No, you're not.
this person, I'm not allowed to make any bad choices. I'm not allowed to
No.
make any choices other than the quote unquote politically correct choice.
Yep. Yeah, the approved party line. You have to toe the approved party line. If you don't, and one of the other things is the tenets of that approved party keeps changing every day. So
Yeah.
things that were okay like last week for you to say, that it's not okay anymore, right? And they don't consider it like, okay, that was not okay last time, so we'll give them a warning this time. No, 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 no. They'll go back to when you said it. Said, why did you say that? Did you know that's ist phobe whatever? Get in this doghouse and stay there. you know.
Well,
But
luckily for me, the rest of the members of the union, they know when I'm coming from. I made one bad choice in 2016. Okay.
mm,
So they know me very well. It's
yeah,
just that this member decided to call me out on it, and it's like, and I just didn't want to make a big scene because it's not worth that person's attention.
yeah.
I
Hmm.
mean, we got more than enough our share of the mentally and intellectually challenged. That's my term for slow tech.
Yep. You know?
That's crazy, man. That happened to you.
Hi there. Stay kids.
Have a glass of warm water, would you? Oh, that movie.
Yeah, what's going on, Julius? What was it? Comics? Give me a second. Freeman
Julius
Comics,
Freeman
right?
Comics. Yeah,
Freeman
Julius Freeman
Comics. There you
Comics.
go. Julius Freeman Comics. What's going on? And this is the first time I've heard of Julius Freeman Comics. You have any examples to show us tonight?
Yeah,
Anything you're
actually, I do.
working on? You wanna plug?
I have an Indiegogo campaign that's on in demand currently. It's called the Ghetto Dragon. I've had it on. I launched it, I think, earlier this year. I think it was January, if I remember correctly.
Well, how's it
And
doing?
it's going good, man. I got my
Good.
second batch of prints today, so I'm gonna start fulfilling this week. So I'm excited. I'm excited to start getting those out there to the backers who backed the campaign. So
I'm gonna need you
things are
to
looking up.
drop a link. Can you drop a link so I can go ahead and put that
Yeah,
on
hold
screen
up.
for
Yeah,
everybody?
hold on. Let me bring it up. But yeah, I joined your show because this topic, the cancel culture. I wanted to kind of share my 2 cents on it.
Absolutely. If you want to do that first, that's fine.
No, yeah,
Let us
I'll
know
do
how
that
you
when
feel about the.
I'll do that as I look as I get the link for you.
Cool, cool.
I kind of see it as I remember in college. I'll look back in college because I wrote a term paper for the Hollywood 10. I don't know if you ever heard of the Hollywood 10 of the
No, what's that?
it was the Red Scare. You remember that in the 50s, the McCarthyism was
Oh, I
very
heard that.
high.
Yeah, someone mentioned
Yeah.
that. Someone referenced that in the last
Yeah,
stream. I forgot to look that up for
and
today.
they had these hearings, right, where they would ask you, did you ever support or be part of the Communist Party? And then of course people would say no, people would say yes, make fingers, yes, I was in the party with this person, whatever. And Hollywood got hit hard because a bunch of people who identify themselves as communists, were ousted, and they were essentially blacklisted, and they couldn't get any work in Hollywood because
Yeah.
of their
Hmm.
label. So
Yeah.
I kind of see today cancel culture is just a euphemism or an Aurelian doublespeak for blacklist. That's
Yeah.
essentially
Pretty
what
much.
that is.
That's what it
Yeah,
is.
right.
That's
Yeah,
what it
it's a
is.
blacklist. It's a straight up blacklist. You support this person. You know what? That's cool. To your face, they say, "Oh, that's cool," but then behind your back, they're
Yeah.
whispering. They're whispering and
Don't
making sure
don't
you don't
hire
get
them for
any
this
work.
anymore. Don't
Yeah,
invite them to that anymore.
exactly. And it's a real thing, and it's kind of sad because when I wrote this term paper, this is back in 2001. I want to say when I wrote this paper,
Hmm.
and I remember feeling angry for these screenwriters, and thinking like, man, that's I can't believe they did that. I can't believe that happened. Well, thank God we don't live in those times anymore. That's what I told myself back in 2001.
Yeah.
And now,
If
and now
only you
here I
knew.
am. And now here
If
we
only you
are,
knew back
facing
then.
the exact same thing, only it's reversed now. Now
Yes.
it's are you it's no longer are you a communist or did you ever support the Communist Party? Now it's are you a Republican or are
Yeah.
you a Trump supporter or were you ever a Trump supporter? And it's crazy, man. It's like we're living like in this inversion time in history.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
There were
Excuse me,
people. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
if I
Yeah.
can chime
Go
in.
ahead, Jose. Hmm.
Heaven forbid that you should publicly acknowledge that you are a Christian and that you have, conservative family values. Is that they look at you as like some sort of antiquated moron. I mean, and it's sad because it seems like everybody they're in favor of freedom of speech, but only freedom of speech for them. But if you have a view that's a little bit out the kilter, forget it. They want to silence you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Now I'm fortunate because you see, the the local I belong to, it's very progressive, but yet there's room for me. And the reason why there's room for me, while I'm a social conservative, I believe in the values of a good union. I believe that, thanks to unions, many people have managed to get into the middle class. And I believe in, making sure that people who work in government get treated fairly.
See, that goes into what I was saying, which was the remedy for being canceled. The answer to the question of tonight's stream: can you ever be uncanceled? The
Yes.
answer is
I say
both.
yes.
You say yes. Why
I
do you
say
say yes?
yes.
That's you, Roy Trust. Is that you? Who
No,
who, who
that's
said
me,
yes?
Julius. It's me,
Julius. Go ahead.
Julius.
Please expound on that.
Um, because what does it mean to be canceled? It means like if you got a nice gig from like say a Marvel or a big company for the example. Well, let's just stick with comics, right? Marvel, DC, or
Hmm.
Image. You have a gig, right? A writing gig,
Right.
artist gig, lettering, inker. It doesn't matter. And being quote unquote canceled is just another, like I said earlier, it's just another way of being blacklisted. So when I say, can you ever be uncanceled? I say yes, because two things can happen. One is there could be a whole restructuring of the mainstream corporate system that can get rid of all the slimy individuals that are in it now that are playing the part into cancel culture, or I should say blacklisting. And if that happens, then you'll get an influx of going kind of relative normalcy once again. If that happens, the second reason why I say you can be uncanceled is because now, like in the stream you gave on Saturday, because that was the first time I listened to your stream, which is the reason why I'm here now, because I really enjoyed that stream. I think it was a Saturday. I think it was Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember which of the 2 days. But you talked about how now is the best time to be alive because of all the avenues that we have available to us, right, to present our work, and there's no excuse anymore. So
Absolutely.
an example would be a stand-up comedian called Owen Benjamin. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Owen Benjamin or not.
No, I haven't.
Well, he got canceled years ago because he put out a tweet a couple about Caitlyn Jenner. I think he tweeted out something like, "How can Caitlyn Jenner be Woman of the Year when he's only been a woman for half a year?" Things of that nature.
That's pretty funny, but you can't make jokes anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And
You
that
know?
was funny. He's a comedian, right? So that's what comedians do. They
Look,
poke jokes.
even trans persons would laugh at that. It's pretty funny. Have
Yeah. And
yeah.
he got canceled for that tweet. He lost his Twitter account. He lost his management company, and he essentially got pushed out. But now he has his own stream. He created his own video sharing platform, and essentially he's gone back to the place where he was before he got canceled. Meaning, he's still making a living doing comedy. Only it's no longer in comedy clubs or in Comedy Central. Now it's on his streaming platform, where people can give money to him to continue making his comedy. So now, like for instance, Ethan Van Sciver, right? Ethan Van Sciver was also essentially canceled from DC because they found out he was a Trump supporter or Republican, and then they pushed him out. But now with Cyberfrog, he was able to raise $1 million for his Cyberfrog comic book. that's a great. That's
Yeah,
how you beat cancel
several
culture.
million, by the way, not just
Yeah,
1 million,
several
several
million.
million.
That's how you beat
Yeah.
being blacklisted or canceled, quote unquote. Is that you do it yourself? You take the fan base with you. You create your own fan base, and you kind of do the double. You flip the double bird to the system that casts you and go, look, I'm still okay, guys. Good luck with your future endeavors when it comes for you, because no longer is he going to be able to be canceled unless his fans cancel him, unless his fans like kind of leave him to hang and dry. But I doubt that because he produces great work and he's very entertaining too when it comes to his live stream. So that's why I say yes, you can be uncanceled. Just
Yeah.
you have to work really hard and kind of find your own little.
Barring any egregious behavior like yelling at fans, telling them to feast upon your ass,
Right.
calling them racist,
Right.
Nazis, and all these different things. Barring all these different things, it's pretty hard to get canceled by your own market.
Right.
If your
Exactly.
work's getting stale, especially with nowadays with the modern state of social media, the line between the creator and their fan has never been this diminished. It's really thin. They can
Exactly.
contact, like you can right now, if people like that were savvy to how things go, you can probably email or message someone like Chris Pratt or whatever. Hey, I loved your movie, and I'm a Christian. I
Yeah.
stand with you.
Absolutely.
And you probably can. He seems very approachable, right? So the line between the fan and the creator has never been this thin. So Ethan will never be canceled unless he goes nuts, like I said, and
Yeah.
loses all of his mind
Right.
and
Right.
starts calling them Nazis and all these different things, right? Nazis, pedophiles, all these things that they
Right.
keep calling anyone who disagrees with the party line, right? Unless you do something like that, you're not getting canceled by your market, especially a market that you've built yourself. You didn't
Exactly.
get the market from somewhere else. You didn't do what the SJWs, quote unquote SJWs, do, where they go to a previously established market and then they inject, they they wobble in there with their clumsy clogs and dance all over the, you know what I mean, all over
Yeah.
the brand new varnished floor you just polished, right? That's what they're doing with He-Man and She-Ra and all these different properties that taught young children. Somebody's got major feedback. Hold on. Major, that was you, Jose. I muted you for a little bit. You're not speaking right now, so I muted you a little bit. Um cool. So when it comes to shows like She-Ra and He-Man, those shows, Thundercats, for example, Silverhawks, all these different shows, and even the ones that came later, like the X-Men, there used to be, up until like the Tumblrites took over animation, Western animation, these cartoons, they taught values, or rather, they reinforced the values that your parents taught you.
Right.
That stuff is gone now. These people have come in and they took firmly established markets like the GI Joe market. I hear that's the reason why the guy who made fun of the people who celebrate, or not celebrate but commemorate 9/11, that guy got kicked off of writing GI Joe, because the GI Joe fan base, which is very solid and very dedicated, they were like, nah, you can't have this guy write the stuff and have us buy it. Sorry. So these
Right.
people come in there with an established fan base, they take over it, and then they basically commandeer it. This brings me to, I told you guys that tonight there will be things that you didn't think necessarily are connected, and I will connect them for you. This connects to what you were saying before, if it was Julius, that the communism, and not to malign communism itself, but the young kids who misunderstand everything they read, instead of taking the best out of anything they read and then, all right, this is kind of crazy in this text here, let me use this only. No, they take the whole thing and they flip through the book. Well, you must be hung because in this chapter here, that's what they do. Because I had a guy, hold on, Julius, you're sharing something and I will share it
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. It's the
Oh,
Indigo Dragon.
my man, click on.
Grossly. Can I hold on? This is a grossly underrated book. I was looking through this. I'm like, dude.
Wait, is that Tank? Is that Tank?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Tank?
Hey, what's up, man? dude, I love this.
Can we get a maximization of that image right there, please, while Tank speaks? Is there a way?
Let me find it. Hold on, give me a second, because I can't maximize this.
Yeah, find out while Tank
Shift, and you can hold down Shift and use your scroll wheel to increase the scaling.
Yeah, the scaling of whatever was. There you go. Yeah, good, Tank.
This is a grossly underrated, man. I was like, dude, how did this slip past my radar? Like, how did I not promote more of this? Because look at this action scene right there. That one panel. I mean, that dude is just like, I have spent 35 years studying martial arts. I've been in that student's shoes right there, where I get my ass whooped straight across the dojo floor.
Yeah,
and I'm giving it my best. Like, I love the look of determination in his face. He's like, "Oh, I got this," and that teacher's like, "No, dude,
no, you don't. Sit down. Have a seat."
So I can relate. I can relate to that.
I'm gonna be studying that panel right there. I'm gonna be studying that panel. That's the sequence. That was amazing. So this is called Ghetto what? Ghetto Dragon?
The Ghetto Dragon, yeah.
All right.
It's a tribute to obviously Bruce Lee,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my favorite movies growing up, which was The Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon.
In the 80s,
yes,
man.
sir.
That was my go-to as a kid, and so I just had this idea of like, oh, it'd be kind of cool if they had a Bruce Lee, like a martial arts movie, but it was from the ghetto, like getting called the Ghetto Dragon, where it's like a hero who fights.
Well, the Last Dragon is what I saw immediately because it looks like Thai mock.
Yep.
The guy
Leroy.
Yeah. So the interior, yeah. Hey, Leroy.
They were supposed to remake that movie.
Oh, they were.
Yeah,
well,
they were. They don't. Well, they didn't because they couldn't get a main lead. Guess who they picked? Like they allegedly had a person for Shonuff because the original actor died.
Yeah,
that's who they picked?
Who?
One of the most used actors that you could think of, who's been in more movies than you can think of.
Samuel L. Jackson?
Yes.
Oh, really?
I was joking.
Dude.
I love Samuel L. Jackson, but I don't know. Shonuff is one of those characters. They gotta be flashy, you know.
He could do it,
but he's overused, man.
Yeah.
Let that.
He's not a martial artist. He's not a martial artist.
I mean,
this was Michael Jai White.
This was a couple of years ago.
Michael Jai White, yeah.
This was like 2 or 3 years ago. So yeah, it's probably done now. But that's what they were, because I forgot one of the Wu-Tang guys were behind it. I don't remember.
Probably RZA. RZA loves those type of movies. Yeah, it sounds like RZA's kind of flow, man.
Yeah, it was one of them I remember, and they couldn't find anybody to play Ty Mock's character, even though he was going to be a feature in the film too. They couldn't find.
Hey, listen. It don't take nothing but like a year and a half to teach them the martial arts moves. Why not have Michael B. Jordan? I don't know. And the thing is, as far as physical conditioning, he's already there. We saw him as Killmonger. Yeah. You can't get more physically conditioned than that. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm gonna go left field here. I watched a movie last night called I think it's called Never Give Up. It was like
Never Back Down.
Never Back Down. Yeah, Never Back Down. The guy who played DJ, I want to say Vanilla or Yellow from.
I saw the first one some time ago. I never saw all the other ones were straight to DVD or something like that. I never saw the rest of them.
Well, the actor who played I can't remember the name of the character in Straight Outta Compton. Not Ice Cube, not Dr. Dre, not Eazy-E. It was the other guy, DJ Yellow or DJ Vanilla. I can't remember his
Yellow,
name.
yeah, DJ Yellow.
DJ Yellow. That actor is a martial artist. He can
I didn't know that.
Leroy. He could play Leroy. I think he'd be a good Leroy.
Danny out in the chat. Oh, sorry, Danny out in the chat. This is recommending Busta Rhymes.
That's shown up. Oh yeah.
Video,
yes.
That music
and
video,
listen, for those of you who saw H2O, Halloween H2O, Busta Rhymes knows a little something. He could pull out those moves.
Well, he might not have the charisma though. He fits the character
Busta
visually.
Rhymes? How
Yeah,
you
I
how
don't
you
think
gonna
I
have
don't
the
think
Come
charisma?
on, dude.
I don't
You
think
Busta
he would
accepted
flow.
Rhymes.
it.
I don't think he would flow like the original guy. I
You
can
don't
see it
think
kind of.
how you gonna put you don't think he could flow in the same sentence with Butler Rhyme? Like
No,
that's a sin, bro. You don't think he
no
could
no no
flow
the
in the same sentence with
the
Busta Rhymes?
no. I think
Like
he fit. I
grammatically,
think he
those things
fit.
don't fit.
I think he fits visually, but I don't think he has the charisma part.
With the
Like
voice and everything, bro.
I
And
don't know,
matter
man.
of fact, he is like I don't know how I didn't think of him before, but he is show enough.
I
Have
don't
you
know,
seen?
man.
Okay,
I
look,
can't.
look.
I can't.
I
Have you
can't
seen
put
the
that
music
on here
video
because I'll get
Dangerous?
copyright struck. But
Have you
have you
seen the
guys
video
seen?
Dangerous?
Hold on. Have you guys seen Czar? His new thing,
No,
his new video, Czar. He's
no.
No.
basically like growling, just like they don't get it.
Well, he would be more of a thug. He would be more scary. Like he wasn't. He wasn't like entertaining like Shonuff. Shonuff, because
Wait,
Shonuff
wait,
was
have you?
like
You're saying
funny.
a whole lot of things that don't belong in the same sentence with Busta Rhymes. He was not entertaining, and then you say Busta Rhymes right after that. I gotta take
But
a
he wasn't.
pause, my dude.
No, no. What I'm saying is that he would be more of a scary character if you put him there.
You know,
Whereas
you've
Shonuff
seen him with
was
locks
more
on, right?
entertaining. Yeah,
Let
yeah,
me ask
yeah.
you something. Let me
Yeah,
ask you
yeah,
something.
yeah. I
You've
think
seen him with his locks on, and
yeah,
this time he'd be wearing a wig so that they can do stuff to it, right?
yeah, yeah.
So he'd be wearing a wig because he shaved all that off. And a lot of us basically we side eyed him a little bit because whenever a Rasta shave off them dreads, it's to escape the law after they done did some dirt. So we're like, Buster, who you kill? Yo, Buster, who you kill? So he shaved them locks off, but uh, they just have to give him a wig. Now the thing is, brother's gained a little weight since Halloween H2O.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
basically, in Halloween H2O, that was show enough.
Yeah,
The
but
way he speaks, the gravelly voice, the
yeah, but
charisma, the swag, that is him.
he
Who do you
doesn't
think
have.
would be better than Buster?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying there's a better person. I'm saying he doesn't have the entertainment. Like that would
Hold
be
on, hold
more
on.
of a scary
Please
guy.
don't say Buster Rhymes after
Have
that.
you guys?
He
Wait. Have
doesn't
you
have the
guys seen?
entertainment value.
Have you seen
Well,
Busta Rhymes'
when I
music
say
video?
entertainment, I mean on the funny side. Like Samuel L.
This dude is
Jackson. What I'm saying, like,
you
just
gonna
hear me
stop
out for a
trolling
second.
tonight, bro. You gonna stop
Hear
trolling
me out.
tonight.
Hear me out for a second. If you put Samuel L. Jackson in that role, his voice, his personality is gonna make people laugh. I don't see Busta
No,
Rhymes doing.
I see Sam Jackson as the
But you
big
know,
banker. Remember the
showing up
original
was
one?
scary
There
though.
was
Yeah.
he was a wiry Weasley little guy, but he was the big boss behind Shonuff. He was a banker or something like that, or somebody
Yep.
with money. I could see Sam Jackson as that because Sam
Yeah,
Jackson's like
yeah.
70 something years old, probably
Oh,
like
I mean a younger Sam
pushing
Jackson.
80.
Right, right,
I'm
right.
sorry.
I mean a younger Sam Jackson. A
Well,
younger Sam Jackson
we
would
don't have
fill
a
that
time
role.
machine, so that casting's not possible.
Yeah,
You got
I
to
know
give us
that.
somebody who's possible.
No, I'm just saying that the charisma part. The
You
Samuel
know,
L. Jackson has the charisma part. Busta Rhymes has the physical. Yeah, he has the other parts. But if you want a character to be scare you, yeah, Busta Rhymes would fit. I think he would be more of a serious. Don't mess with this guy at all. He's no jokes and no. He's all
you're
clean.
talking about Mr. Rah Rah like a dungeon dragon. Cannot
Yeah,
flip that into Leroy.
Yeah, he
Leroy.
definitely can.
He can't
Have you
flip
seen
that,
the
really?
video Dangerous?
I don't know. Uh,
No, I haven't seen that, but we can't show it
Dude,
here because of
he plays
copyright.
showing up in that music video.
Come on,
what? And
man. I'm gonna
what
watch this
video?
now. I'm gonna
Busta
watch
What
this now.
video?
Rhymes plays showing up in the music video called Dangerous that came out in
Okay.
Dangerous.
Oh wait,
1997.
dangerous. He's so dangerous. My whole
Yeah,
entire
yeah,
unit. Yeah, I remember
exactly.
that.
That jam.
Yeah, he
That
was
jam
showing
right
up in
there.
there. He was
What?
showing up in there.
He was showing up
Dangerous?
in there.
I
Yeah.
never saw that one. I would have to look it up. I
He
mean,
was
I'm not saying
Yeah.
perfect. He was pitch perfect in that one.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying he can't
you'll be
do it.
convinced, my dude. You'll be convinced.
I'm not
Because
saying he
this
can't do it.
yeah, of course you think he can't do it because you
No,
trolling, yo.
no. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm not saying he can't do it. I think he visually fits. Yeah, he visually fits the
Not only
character.
visually, the voice. I mean, let's say he didn't visually fit it. The voice alone, bro, and the charisma. In fact, that semi Busta Rhymes has a very unique accent. It's not
Yeah.
completely the United States regional accent. It's more like there's some southern to it, but it's primarily East Coast, like New York, Brooklyn, these sorts of things. And there's a southern aftertaste to it. That's perfect for showing off. Hey, boy, boy,
Oh
boy.
yeah,
Like, and
yeah.
you put the echoes, boy, boy, boy. Yeah. Buster Rhymes would be perfect, but this book here, bro. See that panel? A lot of, I'd say, modern Marvel creators would actually waste every one of these poses. They would waste a panel for it, and you did that in one panel. You or your artist, or both of you, or whoever did this in one panel. And I love how it shows the sequence of a combo. This this has the intersection between gamers and comic book people. And make it a full Venn diagram, throw a third circle in there, which is action movie people who've seen stuff like The Raid.
Hell yeah.
This is sick. I don't know if those were the sorts of things. In fact, that vest he's wearing is very Raid like, because the Raid changed how action sequences are done. Forever. I don't know if people
Absolutely.
understand that.
Oh yeah.
And I
For
see a
sure.
lot of Raid in this. Raid and Raid Part Two. The Raid.
Yeah, actually, Raid was the major inspiration for the artist because this
There
artist,
you go.
yeah, he loved the Raid when it came out, and so did I. He and I, that's how we connected. Is that we both knew about the movie because I'm a martial arts, movie like buff. Like I consume everything that's martial arts from be it from Hong Kong,
Hmm.
Indonesia, wherever I could find it, I take it.
Yep.
So the Raid was hitting the waves and how to watch it, and I found it on like one of my local theaters. They were playing it, and I was blown away, man. That was it. And the
Hmm.
second one, part two, was absolutely bonkers. Part two, by the way.
They're thinking of rebooting it with the guy who said something extremely, not extremely racist, but extremely misinterpreted. He was trying to be funny. What's the guy's name? He was Skull and Crossbones in the MCU.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah, he said something. That was an interview. He's been semi-canceled since, right? Going back to cancellation, ironically, or funny enough, going back to cancellation. He was semi-canceled after he said it. He said something about black women or black guys or something like that. But you can tell like he's an Italian guy and he's unapologetically Italian. That's an Italian. That's a Guido. That's a knuckleheaded Goomba. Yeah, that's a knuckleheaded Goomba joke. Like he made a knuckleheaded Goomba joke. Like the kind of joke. I don't know if you guys spend any time in Brooklyn, but in Brooklyn, and the thing is that also throws a wrench into like the Italians are racist. Well, some are, but most of them aren't. In fact, a lot of them like black culture. Uh, I would go in there and like one of their little pizzerias, and no, they're not all mobsters, but they do act like Goombas.
Well, that's the
I wanted to
stereotype.
work.
That's the
Yeah,
stereotype.
that is a stereotype. I'd go in there. They speak just like Frank Grillo. Frank Grillo. There you go. Now that the hamster's spinning the wheel, now got his name. So he made a Goomba joke that if you're not, you know, on the East Coast, you wouldn't get. And then they tried to cancel him for it. And I can see how that joke. I'm at a loss for what that joke verbatim was, but I can see how that could have been misinterpreted. But when I heard it, I was like, yeah, that's a typical grease haired. That's a grease haired Goomba joke, man.
Well, in other words,
That's
it's
some
an
shit.
ignorant. It was an
Yeah,
ignorant
I mean,
statement.
yeah, ignorant. And the thing is, he'll say that joke. He doesn't believe it. It's just breaking balls. That's what they do. You
Right.
know that's that sleek haired, jet black sleek haired dude who's sitting there eating his cannoli, and you come in there. He's like, hey, what's it? He's like, hey, you're not wearing your sagging pants today. I can almost see.
Oh God.
Yeah, like you usually I can see what level of hygiene you're at during the week, but you're not wearing your drop down pants today. Like they'll make Goomba jokes like that, and it was something along the lines of that, but decidedly different, and they tried to cancel him for it. Going back to
So
cancel culture. That's the other
so
thing where I'm sorry, God.
so basically, the dude did some neighborhood humor, and they tried to cancel him.
Yeah, they tried to cancel him for it, and
Yeah,
I'm
that's what it
black.
sounds
I'm
like.
black, and I didn't really take offense. He said, I mean, I heard it now. That's the kind of shit when I go in there. Like when you go in there, he's breaking balls for a reason. You're supposed to be a man enough to take it. He throws a stereotype at you. You throw one right back at him, and you make it spicy, right? So
Right.
he breaks balls, you break balls. So he thought that was that kind of environment when he sat down to speak to those people. No, 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 Frankie, no,
All
no.
right. Yeah, you
No,
gotta know
no,
your
no,
audience.
no.
That's the key. You gotta know
Yeah,
your
like
audience.
that girl in Get Out. No, 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 no,
Excuse me,
no,
real
no,
quick.
no, no. Yeah.
First of all, I apologize. It's just that I got a notification for this is live stream, which is going to go on at
Which is
7:30.
going on right now? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, man.
And also I have the AC on. So what I do is when I'm not speaking, I mute myself because I don't want the noise of the air conditioning to come in because there's no way with it's like 90 plus degrees outside
Yeah,
you're gonna be without AC.
yeah, I
But
know.
I don't have
but the
AC,
fact
bro.
of the
Yeah.
matter is it goes back to freedom of speech for only for a certain select group of people. Okay.
Mm.
And the thing is, when you try to restrict freedom of speech to some, you end up restricting it to all.
Agreed.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
it
true.
is.
There's a saying: when you when you speak the truth, the universe punctuates it for you. That shit was the truth. You
That's good right
restrict it
there. I like that.
for one or two people or any singular individual or minority group or whoever. Yeah, you're restricting it for everyone else.
I
You
mean,
know that's.
as long as you're not going in there and yelling fire in a
Mhm.
crowded theater or like or you're defending someone's character, saying that this person is everything but a child of God. But apart from that, you can say whatever you like,
Yep.
and if the people don't like to hear it, you have an option. You can choose not to listen.
Yes. Absolutely.
And the fact of the matter is, you have these people on YouTube. They have their content, and then you have the haters who hate their content for whatever 55 million reasons. Well, there's a
Hmm.
solution. If you don't like their content, don't partake. I mean, I mean,
Absolutely.
maybe I'm crazy, but it's that simple.
The thing is the people who are in charge of canceling folks, they understand what you're saying. They get it. It's just that this whole society and the things they demand of us,
Yes.
it's a big shit test. They're in the pickup artist community. I used to do work for those guys. That's how I know about this thing called a shit test. There are a lot of times when a girl who thinks she's too hot for you will ask you to do something like just to test your manhood, to do something demeaning, and if you do it, you lose any chance of sleeping with her. But they've removed that and vignetted it over society where they know what they're asking is ridiculous. I mean, really? You want one group of people to be able to say stuff and the other group of people should just shut up. They know that's ridiculous, but as soon as you bend the knee, they lose respect for you. They may say, yeah, they may say, "Oh, good for you, good for you. You're progressive now. Yeah, you're an ally," but they've lost respect for you.
Well,
You know?
let me tell you something that happened years ago when I worked in foster care. Um, I had a deaf in the family, so for about a week, I rescheduled um, my home visits because I was helping people become foster parents, and one of the people was considering was gay.
Mm.
So what happened was this person had a friend, and he accused me of being homophobic simply because I,
Wow.
I postponed a field visit because I had a death in the family.
Hmm.
Talking about cancer culture, I
Yeah.
mean,
Hmm. Yeah, they'll do that. And the good thing about your job is you seem to while you're in a position that you can be canceled in theory, you seem to have made good connections with people, and so people will kind of like go to bat for you. It seems like like your supervisors and bosses and stuff like that, and union organizers and stuff like that. And that's very good. And that's where I was gonna go next with can you come back from cancellation? Can you be uncanceled? That's
well,
one of the ways you can be. I'm sorry, God.
Well, the fact of the matter is, uh, I seem to be rather likable. Okay,
There you go.
I am not a total idiot. I do have a couple brain cells that are functioning, and I try to treat people as I like to be treated. Okay, and you can have your views, you can have your beliefs. That's fine. I mean, what we can do is be agreeable when we disagree and
Yes.
focus what is important. Like, for example, one thing I'm very proud of my local, they make me feel very home. Now they know they know I'm a social conservative. The difference is I try to be, approachable and
Hmm.
I'm likable because you have some social conservatives that basically they're annoying you like nothing, okay,
Yeah.
and they're very toxic. I try not to be toxic. I try to be friendly. I try to be cordial. I just try to get along. And basically, I just live and let live. That's my philosophy.
As it should be everyone's philosophy.
Well, Brotep, you brought up a good point, and I wanted to ask a question before you brought that up. But my
Sure.
my
Sure. Good. What was the question?
my question was, there's got to be levels to this, right? Because when you
Yes,
say
absolutely. Lots of
blacklisted,
layers.
yeah, lots of layers, because it depends on what layer they're blacklisting you at, right? So if you're
Yeah.
at a low level and you got a higher level celebrity or higher level person
Exactly.
to kind of bring you back up, of course you can recover. But if it's the ultimate worst case scenario, if it's the top dog telling his underlings that you're done, I don't know if you can recover from that one, right?
But it's
So
never, dude. It's never them. It's never them. That's another thing I was gonna cover tonight. These top dogs, they're never the ones canceling people. It's these broke ass, nothing, no talent people who are on Twitter. They have multiple accounts. Every other, I was actually gonna come back with some screen shares. Every other week, these people are asking you money because they're broke. The food's run out in the refrigerator. One of them spent his money. He blew his money on seeing Hamilton. He was from out of town and he got on a bus to go see Hamilton and couldn't get back. So him and his wife and kids were stranded where he saw
Wow.
Hamilton, and he was hitting people up on Twitter. Hey, can you go on Patreon or GoFundMe to firstly, can you buy us a sandwich? Secondly, can you chip in for this bus ticket home? This is the level of people that we're talking about who are sitting up on Twitter and who actually want to cancel people. They are broke. They don't believe in capitalism. I'm of two hearts about capitalism, but I recognize that that's the world I live in and I respect it. These people, they don't believe in capitalism until they need money. And they don't believe in forgiveness until they're the ones who fucked up. And they don't believe in you should ask anyone for anything until they need something. And they have all these different accounts on Twitter, and they have formed these little clubs where they already. I was in the habit of posting fan art on Twitter, and I was part of that community. Those people I'm talking about, as in like I would post art, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is great." They'd share it, and when I forgot who it was. The milkshake one, the milkshake girl from the milkshake crew, Heather Antos. When she did what she did, these people went about doing a an inquisition without any power. At least the Inquisition had power to do what they were doing. These people are going around with no power doing the Inquisition. And they came up on my post because I still had people who criticized Heather Antos. I had still followed them. You could see like who am I following, and I had still followed them. They're like, "Hey, I see you're following X and X people. Do you know that they're this, that, and the third? If you don't dissociate with them, you can no longer be part of this community." And I was like,
Damn.
first of all, I'm missing the checks that you sent for my fucking bills this week. Second, second, I follow who I follow. You know, I'm not gonna negotiate with some sort of social media terrorist. And immediately I was blocked from that person, and all these people added me to a block list.
Yep.
They added me to a
Well,
block list, a blockchain to be more apt. You
let
know.
me let me
Oh,
intervene.
Jose, you got to go chime in with Denise. I know you are usually an invaluable part of her show with what you
For
bring
real.
in as far as insight. So I don't want to keep you here with all this nerd talk.
Okay, well, if I can just have 2 minutes to give my final thoughts.
Hmm.
Please.
Okay, like I said before, unfortunately, we have a cancel culture where people that have certain views, they want to extinguish their voice. And the fact of the matter is, we need other voices because with those voices, we get ideas, we get suggestions, we have a different viewpoint. Okay, if everyone have the same viewpoint or expresses the same view, it gets very dull. The brain cells deteriorate, and next thing you know, you start coming part of the army of the slow taps, or as I like to call the mentally and intellectually challenged.
Hmm.
So as long as people are being agreeable, they're respectable, they're allowed the interchange, there's nothing wrong with having a different viewpoint. When you think about it, that's what made this country great because you have over
Yes.
300 million people, you have over 300 million viewpoints, and there is no right or wrong. We can learn from each other. I've learned a lot from you. I've learned some stuff from the other members of the panelists. I have learned from all the live streams that I've been privileged to participate. So, with that being said, I thank you, Protep, for being extremely gracious and allowing me to participate. And I'm going
Absolutely.
to close by the same way. Please be safe, everybody, because we're still in the middle of a pandemic and there are people who want to do us harm. And we must minimize our contact from the slow taps because if
Yeah.
we do not, we're going to inherit their stupidity.
Hmm. That's true. Oh yeah.
So,
Yep.
that being said, have a blessed night and please be safe.
All right. You too,
For you
Jose.
too.
Bye.
Yes.
Can I just follow up what he said real quick?
Absolutely.
Because I think we have to also take in mind that being rational has to be included in that. So the slow taps
Absolutely.
are not rational, so that's why they do what they do. So you can have a different opinion if you're rational. If you're irrational, however, I don't think your opinion holds that much weight. You know what I mean? It's like if I tell you guys that the earth is shaped like something crazy, like something ridiculous that you know is false, you're not going to take it seriously. Like if I tell you
Hmm.
it's shaped like a triangle, like, oh, this guy, what's wrong with this guy? So we got to keep in mind that if it's rational, yeah, we can entertain that. We could entertain any rational thought, but irrational thought, we shouldn't entertain too seriously. We should be able
Yeah.
to say
Dismiss it
why.
wholly. I mean, if you're saying something irrational, why should I even give it the brain power it takes to even process it?
Right, right. That's what I'm saying. So we
Yeah.
got to throw that in there. That if
Hmm.
when we say we could shit, I'm entitled to my opinion, but it has to be rational. If it's
Right.
Yeah.
totally left field, man, come on. You could say it, but we don't have to take it serious. We could just, okay, next business, move on.
Hmm.
Which they might take it as offensive, of course, because you're not listening to them. So I guess from their point of view, maybe it would be you're disrespecting them. So they might get a little riley and violent or something like that. But that's what you might as well expect from an irrational person anyway.
Hmm.
So we just got
That's
to keep
true.
that in mind too, because he said, like he said, these crazy people, if they can't change the ways, they're gonna physically try to change it, right?
Yes.
So
They're terraforming you. They want to rebuild. They want to break you down. They want to do what the Marines do. When you have a recruit come in there with all their old bad habits and their fucking lip ring and the long hair, they get rid of all that and they get rid of your bad habits. leaving your like you come home, you leave your socks and your trunks on the floor, all these different things. They drum all that out of you, and then they rebuild you into what they want you to be. But these guys are like a fucked up Marine Corps, where they want to they take the rationalness that you brought in there, like, hey, you know what? Maybe all these people are not bad in this particular. Oh, shut up, like they destroy what you came in there with, if it's common sense and rationality, and then they rebuild you back up into what they are. That's what they do. Is this story part of the same? What is this we're looking at here right now?
Oh, this is a different project that fell through about 5 years ago. If the story of my life, for you, so you know, I've been trying to make it into the comic book industry for 10 years now, and so for the past 10 years, I've been trying to kickstart, not the platform, but kickstart comic book projects. So I could submit them to Image, submit them to Dark Horse, whatever. And this is one that fell through. This is one that nothing happened because I never got any responses from any of the publishers. So
yeah, but screw them. You got Indiegogo now, player.
Yeah, but this artist is
and
no longer available.
Mikasa Sukasa, bro.
He's committed. He's committed to another project, so I can't get this artist anymore.
Oh, to continue the book?
Yeah.
How much of this do you have? How much of this? At least one book, perhaps?
Just these pages.
Oh, damn.
Hey, come on.
Hey, real quick, who's speaking right now? Is that the martial artist or
Julius?
Oh, are you the martial artist or no?
No.
I'm not a martial artist. I'm an enthusiast.
The martial artist is Paul Roper. Paul Michael Roper. He's not here tonight.
Do you guys know who Tony Jaa is? He's an underrated martial artist.
Dude. Yeah, Tony Jaa.
You should make a character after him. Like he would be a good model also.
Right. This book here, what's it called?
It's called Operation Guardian.
Okay. What we need to do is, this platform's not big enough to do this yet, but in spirit, I can do it for you, right? Which is everybody here needs to go and back up the project that he already has going there now, so that it can become a success, so he can actually lure this artist back to the book and finish this one.
Oh yeah, because I would love to do this book. Yeah, this book.
Or you can find someone similar. Have you heard of I think he's from Brazil, maybe. So that would be Renzo Rodriguez. Or if he's Colombian, then that's Renzo Rodriguez.
I follow him on Twitter. Yeah, I follow his work. He does great work.
See what his dance card looks like, because he can draw the hell out of the rest of this book, man.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. I hope so. I hope that one day I do get to that point. And that is the goal. The goal is to get to a point where I can produce this story finally, because I'm pretty proud of the story I wrote. It's just a matter of finding the artist to draw it, the right one anyway, not just any artist, but the right one. Like this artist here was ideal when I found them.
I gotta say, both this and stuff I've seen from Brain Cage and the Ghetto Dragon that I saw previously on the screen right here, there's stuff out there that look like comic books. Now I'm saying it in terms of the Image people. That's where I got this line from. But the Image people, it's no longer true for them. This is true for us now.
Yeah.
There are things out there that look like comic books. These guys' stuff I've seen tonight look like action movies. This is amazing. This is an end. Is that tank being like decapped? So now the soldiers inside are defenseless. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. This stuff looks like an action movie. And so, how many pages of this is there? Like 5, 10?
Yeah.
5?
So let me show you the pages. It's the cover and then the 5 pages.
Well, what you can do is, can you put it as an added bonus to the book you're doing now?
Well,
no reason why this has to go to waste.
Man. This is definitely professional level, man.
Yes, this guy's ready for prime time.
But this is ridiculous, man. This is crazy.
No, and that's why now, like we're going back to your streaming on Saturday.
Yeah, you guys take over for a minute. I'll be right back.
Yeah, right. Like I was saying, like there's no excuse with the advent of crowdfunding, Patreon. Now I wouldn't have been able to do the Ghetto Dragon if it wasn't for Indiegogo. If it wasn't for Indiegogo, I wouldn't have had what I have. I wouldn't have what I have now with the Ghetto Dragon. It would just be sitting on my inside my computer collecting digital dust, just sitting there.
Well, you could definitely do a Patreon if you have if this is you, but this is ridiculous, bro. This is crazy.
Oh no, I plan to. I'm working on that right now. Actually, I'm working on the Patreon system, so that way, in the near future, I can offer something to readers, and hopefully, right now I'm negotiating with two artists who are still we're still negotiating how we're going to work this out, so that way, there's a continuation, not a. The one thing about Patreon that I've noticed that a lot of the time there's like dry spells sometimes where the creator, posts a bunch of stuff and all of a sudden, like after 6-7 months being consistent, they kind of have a month or two of dry spells where like nothing happens for a month or two, and then they can pick up again. So I want to keep it consistent to where I want them to keep coming back every month to check out the next chapter and next few pages of the book or the story that I want to write.
Well,
So,
to my understanding, Patreon is a monthly subscription, right? I know they have different levels.
Yeah,
so
they have different levels.
Yeah, so if you could do a 6-month subscription or something, they would come back because they're paying for it. Why
Right.
not? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the job is the goal is to write stories compelling enough where they want to come back every month. Not only do they like have to, they want to. They want to find out what's going to happen next.
Yeah, and they'll bring people with it. Like this is I can't touch this. There's no way. No way I could touch this. I couldn't.
Yeah,
do
man.
This.
This artist, he hit it. He got my script and he just captured it perfectly. Like it was
If you
amazing.
gave me 50 years, I couldn't do this. I couldn't.
It's sick, man.
Do this.
Gorgeous.
This is ridiculous. This is like some people are so talented. It's ridiculous. Like there's no explanation how they got so good. Like this is come on.
Look at this. Look at that panel. That panel right there that you're on right there.
This is like
that's a shot from a movie. That's not even a comic book.
You guys heard of Savants? This is like some Savant level.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
This
is all from. This is why like I was so sad that this artist committed to another project because, this is for my script. I wrote this in the script and he just got it. It was amazing, just how easy, like it was easy for him to just get it and be like, wow, this guy.
I'm that guy who will actually go and see what's going on in those vents up there in that first panel. So he did not draw that stuff in vain. All right, all the wires and all that shit. I appreciate all that. He did not draw that stuff in vain for you.
There's got to be forums you could post your stuff on. Like there's got to be.
Oh yeah, I mean, Comicsgate's a big community already, but yeah, there are forums, I think.
Yeah,
right?
So Instagram, you can do Instagram, whatever.
I wanna produce this when I have the right artists because I don't just want to hire anybody. I want to get the right artist who's going to deliver. Because as you know, Bro Tip and everyone in the stream, when you're making comics or not just comics, but anything involving storytelling, be it movies, TV, whatever, you got to have the right people involved in the project.
Absolutely.
If you don't have the right people involved in the project, your story can just fall apart easily.
Yeah. Forget about it. And it'll be a thing where everything else is in place, except you did not have that crucial role filled out by that one person. And the project cannot work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I would caution you to copyright everything first.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's that too. Absolutely.
Copyright everything first, because the next thing you know, somebody else will have it on their site. Oh, I did this, and it'll be me. Right? No, it won't be me.
He's like, matter of fact, I'm taking screenshots right now.
Yeah, it was me, man.
Should I not be sharing this right now?
Right?
I think you're safe here, but I mean, like, protect your work because there's too many stories out there where people were robbed blind.
Oh yeah, no, this story
they lost. They end up losing.
I may end up losing, but I wrote this story about 8 years ago, and no one's done it yet.
Do you have proof? You gotta have proof, bro. Right away, you have to have proof.
No, you're right. You're right about that. I have emails. I guess that's the only thing I have.
So one of the old school tricks. One of the old school tricks is to print it out and mail it to yourself.
Yeah, but you gotta do more than that. That's okay, but you got to do more than that because a guy fucked that up for the rest of us. You can't you can't just do that anymore. Some guy did it. Some guy fucked it up fairly recently, like I don't know, about 5 or 6 years ago. Someone fucked it up.
I read about that.
Like he did it, but it was something stolen. He put it in a thing and said it was his or whatnot. that sort of thing.
Oh.
Yeah. So it set a precedent where judges can't really trust that no more.
Yep.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
need
know
to
about
get
that.
it.
It was a shame.
There's two ways to copyright: register it or publish it.
There you
Yes.
go. Yeah.
Publishing's like bar none. That's it.
Yeah.
You publish the shit.
Exactly.
So
It's in people's hands. Like, what are you gonna do? Unless you're
Delete.
Disney, then you do it anyway. And since you have more money than God, like who's gonna say anything? That's what Disney does. But barring them, no one else will. 'Cause remember that they didn't come up with Lion King. That was a whole a whole production that they stole. The whole Lion King.
It's true,
You know,
but
Disney,
it
yeah.
is legally distinct enough
Mhm.
that it actually passes the copyright test.
Mm.
I see.
Let me see here.
They changed it just enough.
Just enough.
This is what? Give me a second here. I'm trying to. Yeah, but go ahead, fellas, chop it up. I'm just copying something here to
Oh, no
paste and
worries.
show. Yeah.
But can you get uncanceled? Yeah, you absolutely can. You just got to find the right crew.
Well, I would say it depends. Canceled from mainstream, most likely not, unless, like the one guy said, unless there's a complete overhaul. But how likely is that going to happen? The only way
not
it can be,
but that's a possibility.
yeah, the only way you can be quote unquote uncanceled is to do your own thing, but you're still canceled from the mainstream.
Yeah.
So it's like a limbo, if you will. You're canceled from one area, but not from another.
Yep.
Well, at that point, you just go pull a Bending Rodriguez and go start your own amusement park with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah.
Blackjack and hookers.
With some mysterious white substance as well.
Right.
Definitely. Wow. I mean, I don't think it's much of a mystery what that white substance would be, unless it's powder or liquid. If you're dealing with hookers, there can be several forms of
gold metal. It's called gold metal flour, man.
There you go. Flour. Okay, so it's powder.
Well,
right.
Also be wary of the tea, because apparently people know how to make mushroom tea. So, yeah.
Whoa.
Who are these people? I can, be aware of them and not go over to their house.
Yeah. But Goddess in Training is in the house. What's good, Goddess in Training? But one of the things I like, the reason why I appreciate your guys' work there is I love industrial work, and some of the stuff that I try to do. I'm not in a position to do a lot of that stuff as of late because I'm doing a lot of logos for people. But in my spare time, what I like to do is stuff like, give me a second, let me show this here.
That's dope. That's dope.
There's nothing there. Stop playing games. Hold on.
The tubes there. I thought that was it that you're showing.
Hold on. See what I like to do. You're playing games, yeah. Hold on.
My bad.
I do design vehicles.
Oh, there we go. Like you did that? Pro tip?
Yeah.
That's dope, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man. What I do is I go in with a light marker first. So that's what you see here with these light etchings here. So that I get the basic overall shapes, right? So you see all these light etchings. Then if you do it with a light enough marker, like a Copic 0, this is trade talk. So if any artists are in the house, that's how I do it. Copic 0, you go in there, you do what you need to do. You don't want to go there with a pencil. What happens is with pencils, you're going to erase. Yep. You're going to spend all day, But if you go in there, this is the design phase. It's not the final stage, right? If you're doing the final stages, go ahead and go nuts with a pencil. But if you want to just get things off the top of your head, off the dome, there's nothing better than a light Copic that you do light etchings. Oh, I see a shape here or whatever, and then you formalize it into something like this.
That's a cool technique. That's how I do it when because the way I write scripts is that I don't just write them off the top of my head. I actually lay them out and I use a light pencil, I should say, to like draw the camera angles and the camera shots. So
there you go. Do your little floor plans and shit. Yeah, is one
Dude,
like this, right?
that's sick,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
How long?
But
How long does it take you? How long does it take you to design these kind of things?
well, there was no
Draw.
guidelines. When there's no guidelines, I can do these pretty quickly. Like these could probably be done in like hour, 2 hours, that kind of thing. But the thing is,
Really?
yeah.
Damn, man.
Well, the thing is, I'm creating them. If they're already created, then there's no guesswork. Then it will
Right.
probably
Only 2
take
hours,
less
bro.
time.
Only
I'm
2 hours.
sorry.
I could do it in 2 minutes, man. No, I'm joking.
There you go.
Yeah.
Listen, if I could do that, you know how much money I'd be making? I'd pump out so
Bob,
many of these.
dude, I'm going to be throwing money at you soon enough. So
Yeah, man.
Some guys have
these
more than
designs
By
are
the way,
tight, dude.
can I just say something, Tank? I'm really excited about your shared universe idea that you're working on. I can't wait for
Oh
that. I'm
man,
really excited about that because it looks
Yep.
great. It looks fantastic.
What is
it's
that?
thank you. It's really exciting working with Greg and Dan and Ben and Chris and all these other amazing creators just to bring together like a shared universe. You know, like
Yeah,
a
it's dope.
continuity. That's something that's been missing.
I'm a little confused, guys, because you guys train for this, or you just like don't tell me you're natural, man. Come on.
Oh no,
It's
it's
years
so
and
much
years
hard
of
work.
years of practice,
Yeah,
my friend.
self-taught.
Years
Drawing,
and years of practice.
self-taught.
You gotta put in the hours.
Self-taught.
Yeah.
Yeah, self-taught.
You gotta
No,
want it.
that's not- you're just blessed, bro. You're just blessed, man. That's not self-taught. You're just say you're
Well,
No,
blessed. bro.
it does
Thanks, but
take time.
yeah,
It does take time.
and you gotta want it. You gotta draw.
Yeah.
You gotta love
I
it.
can't do that. I can't. Like you could give me 10 million, I would fail. You can give me 10 billion, I
Well,
would fail.
well,
I
yeah,
can't do
you're gonna
that.
fail the first time, but it's best to keep
I
on
would
doing it
come
and
nowhere
learn.
near that. I would come nowhere near.
Not
If you
not
gave
yet.
me all the money in the world, I couldn't come.
You can do it. Well,
But you can get there. That's what I'm
yeah,
trying
you
to
can
say.
get there with time
It doesn't
time
take
and
money.
dedication. You gotta want
Yeah.
it. That's
In my
it.
That's it.
lifetime, I doubt it, bro.
You said about it.
No way.
These sorts of designs. I wanted to ask if I saw Tank. Was it you? Which one of you guys had the blackjack 21 girl?
Oh, that's me, man. Yeah,
Who Tank Ferret? All right.
yeah.
So I wanted give me a second here. What's going on with my
Oh, that's just gorgeous, man. I love your attention to detail.
Yeah,
thanks.
it's really it's not many artists do that nowadays, and you definitely have. This definitely looks like something that I would see in the Wizard magazine back in the day when Wizard was around. Where, they would do like the
yeah,
hype
where
video,
they show you yeah
we'll have this book, they would show these like these images. That's what
yeah
just
these
reminds me of.
processes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love those things. I mean, the R.I.P. Wizard, man. R.I.P. Wizard magazine.
Yeah, seriously, man. Wizard was great. I loved Wizard magazine growing up.
But yeah, these two characters, I'm looking for a home for them. So like some sort of home universe, and I'm hearing unlimited brain cage unlimited. You feel me? So I'm like,
we need to talk.
Yeah.
I have a whole developed universe that is plug and play.
all right,
Nice.
yeah, man. Let's talk about it. Oh,
Brain Cage is bringing it, man. We're bringing the heat. We're lighting fires under people's asses and we're greasing the tracks of our tanks with the guts of our enemies.
The both of these.
Well, we also got some trains in there too, paving
That's
the
a
way.
Hey, wait a minute. In World War Hell, you guys got aircrafts?
Yes.
Sir.
Okay. Just asking. How can I get rid of this? My StreamYard is acting up.
Uh-oh.
But anyhow, let me see what's.
Try to make your hammer.
And Broten, who's this character? If you give us a little bit of a backstory without any big spoilers, who we're looking at here?
I'm not sure we're looking at anybody yet anymore. I think.
Oh yeah.
See, my StreamYard's acting up. I thought I'm looking
I
at.
see
Blackjack.
I see a redhead or orange haired.
Okay, so she's still on the screen. Give me a second. Let me restart the StreamYard, guys. You guys hold it down for a minute.
All right. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And now for our next segment. Honky says.
Cooking the perfect sandwich with Lord Sandwich.
Do you guys have
use
YouTube
lots
channels?
of mayonnaise? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you showcase some of your art? Do you showcase some of your art there?
I do. I showcase my art. I show off. I like to put a lot of focus on indie comics, indie games.
Cool.
I like indie, man. I'm done with mainstream's nonsense. I want to show that there's other options out there. And I got an open platform for people who, if just a little respect, that's all, because this is, I'm trying to like get the word out and whatnot. We're trying to have some fun. We get a little bit unchill sometimes over there, but whatever. It stays fun and entertaining, and I'll show off some video games or something like that. Like we'll do silly stuff. Every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern over on Tank Ferret.
There we go. I just subscribed to your channel, by the way.
Word, huzzah.
So did you think about doing something for free, just a little bit, to bring your subscribers up? Because you could probably do something, put a little series out there, a little mini series out there, and just kind of build like that. Because people will notice, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, right now I'm working on a 3D print like set of miniatures that you can have, like some robots. I call it the Fembot Apocalypse. Mankind's time has come to an end, and it's lady bots, but the robots, they're not all like sleek and sexy and stuff like that. But they're feminine in their own way. They're really highly detailed. So, but they're good for if you got like a cheap printer, or if you got like a super high price printer, you're gonna enjoy the product. I've worked really hard on this to ensure quality, to make sure that you got a toy that you can print out. You can use it anything. You can print it out super big and bring out all the detail. You can print it out super tiny and go play Warhammer 40K or any other tabletop game, or put robots in your Dungeons and Dragons, or go pick up the latest copies of Cyberpunk Red from R. Talsorian Games, because Mike Pondsmith is a god and everybody should know it.
Damn. You got your stuff right, straight and going, don't you?
It took me a couple of years to build up my radio personality, build my radio voice. See, normally when I do my radio voice,
you got it right on point. That's awesome, dude.
I drop the pitch down just a little bit, and I start talking a little bit quickly, but I change it up so that way I'm not always talking at the same speed. So that way, when it's really important, I can get people to pay attention to what I'm saying.
Beautiful.
It's like a character,
Yeah. Totally.
And I thought I like different voices. I could be all like, "Where was my earth-shattering kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom. My Illucium P39 thermomodulator. Yes."
Beautiful. That's me clapping, by the way. That's the sound of me clapping. I don't know if you can hear it or not.
I always like Marvin the Martian, man. I always like a good down on their luck. I like the underdog, man. I'm a Raiders fan. So
there you go. Same here. I'm a big underdog fan too. The cartoon as well.
Hey, I will give you the biggest underdog fan. I'm stuck with the Lions.
Oh, you poor bastard.
I am poor.
Thanksgiving is always a day of mourning for Lions fans.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's jacked.
I love rivalries. I like a good, fun rivalry, man. I think the UN, they should put a big old bowl of mashed potatoes in front of everybody with a big-ass spoon, dude. And lock them in there. No communication out. Just get out all that aggression, man. I spend like a couple $1 million on Instajack. You know what I'm saying? Like, just get some cheap-ass mashed potatoes and just let them have at it. Let them get all that hate and anger out of their system. I think we might make some progress.
We might. We might very well make some progress.
And it's mashed potatoes. Like, nobody can argue with it. They can't say it's against their cultural beliefs to have a potato.
That sounds a lot like these rooms that they have nowadays where they just put in like a whole bunch of junk, like old TVs, and they give you a bat and just let you go to town on them.
Dude, I have done that. I did that for fun, and when I was done, I was like, actually, you know what? I actually feel better. Like there's a bit of a cathartic release that you get from just smashing some shit up. I'm cussing on the show. I'm not supposed to. You're
Shame.
fired, stupid earther. Slow tip earthers, I swear.
Hey, Tank, I wanted to ask you, how long have you been working on comics?
Well, I was way into comics. I got a fun story. I got into comics like seriously when I was about 13. He-Man is actually what got me into that. Like the little comic that came with the action figure.
Yeah.
I was like, I started drawing muscle monsters. I couldn't draw faces for a damn, so it was mostly muscle monsters and whatnot. And then I had a mentor. I don't name drop, but they were a big person in comics who was like, "Oh, cool. Well, would you be interested?" And I was 12 years old at the time, and he was like, "Would you be interested in going to a comic convention?" And because he was a big shot, I got the behind the curtain treatment, where I got to actually see what was going on and talk to these folks. Next year, I showed up with a portfolio.
At 13 years old.
13 years old. I walked straight, and he was like, "All right, I don't show your portfolio to anybody. I want your first portfolio review to be memorable. I'm going to have a couple of my friends review your portfolio." Me, being 13 years old and being an obstinate teenager, was like, that's fine. I walked over to the company where he was big and to the submissions line, met with the submissions editor, and I'm a cuss, folks. All right, because I'm going to be quoting. I'm just quoting here. All right. All right, so I show my portfolio, and this skinny little bald and white dude looks up at me, and he says, "This is shit."
What the hell did I just walk into? Skinny little white dude said this is shit.
My first portfolio review. We're talking about how I got into comics, and I'm 13 years old, and this dude looks at me square in the eye and says, "This is shit." And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, nobody's ever said that to me. I mean, I've gotten critiques before, but nobody's ever just straight out told me it was shit. So I look at him, and I'm like, okay, so what's shit about it? And he starts, and I already warned him, Brotep, that I'm going to be cussing because I'm quoting this guy.
No problem.
And he goes, well, this is fucked, and this is fucked up, and this is crap. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. What the fuck are you doing? I was like, oh, I was trying to do like that spotlight shadow effect. He goes, well, it's shit. And I looked at him, and I'm like, okay, well, how do I get better? Like, what should I work on? Like what should I work on first? And at that moment, this man's demeanor did a 180. He looks at me. He goes, well, actually, you should go to the park and draw people. You should go to the park and go draw people. Do some form drawing.
The fuck?
And
is this a real story? You're being real now, right?
That's how it is. At least that's how it used to be. Not anymore.
I was 13 years old. This is WonderCon in 1990 at Jack London Square, Oakland, California.
Wow.
And I went on and had my portfolio reviewed by a few more people and whatnot. What the guy in front of me walked away in tears and threw his portfolio in the garbage. Like, that's what I was like heading into. I had a little bit of heads up, like, oh man, this is gonna be brutal.
No, but that's pretty much a test. That's how it used to be. They want to see how, because a good 99% of what we do as freelance. Well, I mean, now that we're at a level that we know what we're doing, but especially when it's first starting out, a good 80 to 90% of it is rejection. You'll sit there and you'll draw, you'll do an entire design, and they'll be like, nah, completely wrong. That this is not what we were going for at all. Go back and do something else. You know? And if you're gonna be a guy who'll be like, oh, fuck this, then you give them double finger, middle fingers, and then you leave. Then they know that you can't deal with, because these guys are they're the litmus test. Right. Because they don't want to be dicks. They're mimicking what people with money will tell you at that big meeting. So when you're in the industry, this guy lets you in, and you're in the industry, and he's groomed you in the non-sexual way that they're trying to lynch Warren Ellis for, which we'll cover that later. That's part of cancel culture and cancellation too. But after he's groomed you, that you're an artist who draws like Jim Lee, and you're on time like Jack Kirby, and you've got a great demeanor like Stan Lee. Right. Once he's groomed you into that guy, and he sends you into a meeting with these jerks with money, for lack of a better term for these people, I deal with them all the time. that's how they talk to you, because they'd rather be golfing, and then they resent the fact that they had to come to this meeting to talk to this artist. These people are plebs to them. We're plebs to them. You know what I mean? So yeah, they're just getting you ready for that stuff. And notice his whole demeanor changed because you passed. Because a lot of them
Yeah,
would be like, "Well, it's shit. Well, you're shit, man." But
yeah. And instead
yeah,
of doing that, you say, "Well, how can I get better?" And that's what probably would change
exactly.
the demeanor, right?
Then he's
Yeah.
like, "That's my guy. That's my guy right here. If I groom him, because what? Look, these people, editors. I'm assuming that was an editor who gave you that kind of
He
well,
was the submissions editor for DC Comics in 1990.
Oh
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Do you have any idea, especially back then, before we had all this software that frees up our time? Back in the 90s, they didn't have all these bullet points and all these. I mean, they had them, but not to the extent we have now, where the software where frees up a good 2, 3, 4 hours of your day. So these editors would have to be so busy, and he took the time to chew you out.
Mm-hmm.
Most people, if he saw no hope for him, he'd just be like, "Oh, that's nice." He'd give
Keep
them the
up the good
nicety.
work. Yeah, keep
Oh,
up the good
yeah,
work is
yeah.
like that's the worst portfolio review
Yes,
you can get.
exactly. Yep. Because we don't need you. But if they're like, "Yo, this is crap," what the hell is this? I don't even know what's going on here. Explain to me what's going on here. What the hell were you thinking? Right?
Mm-hmm.
He's taking an interest in you. He wants you to like it's a whole. They don't do that anymore. Now it's all about politics, obviously. But you know, uh, um, I wish the days were like what happened to you there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
yeah,
That would have been great if I had that. But I'm not an artist. I wish, looking back, I wish I would have focused on drawing more than I did writing. But I came to a point where I had to make a choice and go, okay, I have to stick to writing because I can't
writing or
commit.
drawing, right?
I can't commit to both. I couldn't commit to both. That's what I'm trying
Well,
to
I
say.
mean, it's just going to be hard, like Frank Miller. I mean, Frank Miller's kind of like he's a mutant.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He
There's certain
definitely is a
people like it
mutant,
comes
man.
easy for him. Like
Yeah.
Frank
Yeah.
Miller is one of those mutants, you know. But someone was asking about the two characters here. They're
Yeah.
they're 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 people called vessels, and basically the military uses them. I haven't gotten into what makes their bodies nearly unbreakable, but think of Captain America level of toughness, like falling from third story buildings and these sorts of things, right?
Nice.
But the reason why they're called vessels is that there's a committee. Almost every act they commit in a mission is run by a committee, and those committees have helmets, and they get to decide, okay, do you kill this contact because it looks like he's a double agent, and they have to do a committee of approved, like right there, right then and there, and it happens almost at the blink of an eye, but the process still exists. So she's been framed because she committed an act, and supposedly it didn't. She disobeyed, the consensus of the committee that was in charge of her. And when I say committee, so for example, if you have a mission where you have to go into a foreign country because they're not supposed to have they're a hostile state whom you don't trust with nuclear weapons, and so they have a nuclear missile that they're building, and you just send her in there. Usually you'd send a whole bunch of people. You have to send a weaponeer to look through the weapons, through the missile, and see how to disarm it and disable and
Right.
stuff like that. You also have to have infill team, exfil team, she's all of that, right? The only thing is, whenever you need something done, one of the committee steps up, and his helmet is the dominant one controlling her. So let's say someone like a contact just got shot in the throat or something like that, and she needs to do a tracheotomy because the guy can't breathe. There's a doctor there in the room far away with a helmet on, and he assumes
Ah.
control of her, and then she's the doctor physically there. She's the doctor, but across the overseas where the base is, the doctor is basically using her as a drone to operate on this guy's throat. And when it comes time to, like, she's not a trained sniper. She's basically hand to hand and close weapons, but when it comes to, like, taking a long shot with a rifle, there's a retired sniper from the Marines there. He's got a helmet. Maybe he's got, like, no legs. Combat veteran who's come back, and he's disabled, can't be physically of any use to his country on the field anymore, but his brain is still there. You know what I mean? Like he's still the best sniper who's ever lived. He just has no legs, so he has a helmet and he assumes control of her, and and her body takes the shot, right? So on one of the missions, someone important, she killed someone important, and she's gotten framed for it. There's a list of the approved admins who get to control her. Now on that list is the admins for other operators like her, right, and other vessels. If Night Sword, that's her name, Night Sword. If Night Sword clears her name by exposing the list, like these are the approved admins who approve the choice for me to kill this guy, right? If she releases the list, the other names of the people get exposed to hackers and the media, and those people are currently undercover right now, and they can get their heads blown off when their cover gets blown. So she has to decide whether to remain a criminal forever, right, or clear her name. And you know, someone like her friend here and other operators, they're exposed out in the open with a list of committees and committees and the operators who are embedded in, like, Syria and Germany and Russia and all these places, and China, right? So that's pretty much the gist of it, of the story.
Sounds great.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a very cool concept. I don't think I've ever. Well, I mean, I don't think I've ever heard of that kind of concept before.
Well, it sounds similar to an avatar, because that's what an avatar is.
Yeah. So she's kind of like an avatar.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
But she's living and breathing though. She's an actual person. She's not in a video game.
She's not like a husk or anything, right? She's just
she's a living, breathing person. But when it comes to the missions, whenever it comes, like, they don't always have to approve every single thing she does. I mean, she has her own skills, so that's why she gets to use those skills to try to clear her name, right?
Can she override? Can she override what one of the people controlling her? Can she override it?
I did think about that. That maybe for the mission's sake. Cool. Yeah, because right. For the mission's sake, maybe.
Because what I'm thinking now is, they could double cross her now. Like if she cannot override it, they could make her put a gun to her head and blow her
and blow it off. Yeah, there you go.
So there
has to be clauses in there, like maybe she can't self-terminate. That's a clause in there, and because basically what's running her mind right now is software, like or in-house firmware from the agencies that hired her.
What's stopping her from being killed by the agency?
Yeah, exactly. So you're right. You're right.
Framed, yeah. So you have to make it so that she can get out of it. So otherwise,
yeah, very good idea. Because because the thing is, if she had full control over that, maybe this wouldn't even happen, that she's framed right now. But I think she could still be framed even if she makes her own decisions. If these guys have enough, hacking knowledge, like they hack her and make her do stuff she doesn't want to do or whatever. But what else? I think that's pretty much. And it's not really a world that's established yet, so that's totally up in the air. If writers want to come on board and add and subtract to it and stuff like that, it's just a basic premise.
Hit me up, bro, tip. I'm a writer, so you can always hit me up. I can help more than happy.
All right, no doubt. Who's speaking? Let me take this off.
Julius.
Julius? Okay, cool. Yeah. So like, what was I gonna say here? The world building. I wanted to have like these kinds of helmets that look like, sort of like there's a guy, like when she goes to try to clear her name, there's a guy that is a hacker, and she wants to be able to in the field do hacking, and the guy uses like a football helmet, and he just puts like an intricate machinery in there, and like shaves his head, sort of like how an X-Men, the Cerebro, yeah, sort of like that. But let me see, the main villain was basically a guy called the defense minister, and he has the reverse. Whereas other people, it takes a staff to control him. He controls like people. People are taking. One of the reasons why I figured the story might not be that popular among elitists is that I bring in vaccines into it. So this guy puts You know,
Not controversial.
yeah, no, that's not controversial at all. You know, but with the vaccines, there's nanobites that if all the people lined up, you know, there's a contagion. People's eyes are going bloody red. You know, they're dying. You got to go get the vaccine. Get the vaccine. You know, and people will show up getting to get the vaccine, and they're being pumped. Instead of it's a vaccine, it's a hoax, but they're getting pumped full of nanobites, where all the people who are pumped full of this thing, they're all basically vessels for him. If he wants to, you know, kill someone in Brooklyn, and you know he finds out where they are, you know, the mom is serving food, and the knife's right there, and the mom slashes, you know, the guy's throat who was hiding out at his mom's place, right? If somebody's making a deal or something, you know, with someone else, and he disapproves, you know, he has all those gangsters are like, you know, I thought, you know, all the money's there, and the gangsters like, I'm not doing this, right? The gangsters, all their you know, pistols are raised, and they shoot the guy or whatever. So he gets to control people who have taken the vaccines because they're full of nanobites that he controls. And he also let me see, he's the defense minister. Wait, he's the prime minister. The defense minister, he controls like jets and you know, machines that have AI in them. So it's two guys, you know. It's the defense minister who does like machinery, hard surface. So like cars, jets, fighter jets, you know, stealth bombers, submarines, warships. He can control all that if they have an onboard computer. You know, it's all controlled by satellites. You know, space shuttles. If they have an onboard computer, they're his.
The
But the
Terminator
other
had
guy,
like that. The Terminator,
yeah,
the last
sort of
one
like
with
a
the
Terminator.
female.
Yeah, sort of like
Yeah,
Terminator. Yeah,
the female was
and
able to do that.
exactly. And then, sorry, the other guy controls soft surface people, soft surface assets. The defense minister controls hard surface assets, you know, machines, vehicles, and the prime minister controls soft surface assets like people and viruses. People, viruses, they're all soft surface. They're biological. You know, those are the two villains. But you know, other than that and the basic plot, you know, the story's wide open for a writer to kind of like have fun with it if they want.
Are you planning
This,
on producing this down the line in the future?
um, yeah, I mean, if I can get a writer, you know, and to basically take the concepts and run with them and then flesh out a script, I wouldn't mind drawing a one shot 40 pager. You know what I mean? A self contained 40 pager or 50 pager. So if it, you know, maybe something like 50 or 60 pages, so that the people when they order it, they don't
Yeah.
feel gypped like, oh, I had to pay the shipping and then it's only a 22 page, you know. But if it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, if it's like 50, 60 pages, you can't complain. Come on. You know, the $7 or whatever it is, it's worth it.
Well then,
You know?
you know, hit me up, dude. Hit me up if you're serious about that, because I'm eager to do work for hire stuff too. So it's a matter of, and I'm a pretty fast. I could come up with a story pretty quickly if you
This
give me
is
all the
Julius talking,
elements.
right?
Julius, yeah.
All right, all right.
If you have all the elements are in order and you share them with me, I could come up with something pretty rad.
Cool,
And something
cool.
that you'll also enjoy too, not just what I enjoy, but also obviously it has to be what
Yeah,
you want.
like bring all your loves in there. Hopefully, we enjoy the same things. You know, action movies, sci-fi,
Hell yeah.
all these different things. You know, good acting as opposed to whatever the hell went on with Anne Boleyn. I don't know why they chose that actress. First of all, I mean she's black, but so she doesn't fit that character. But she can't act. If they were gonna like they race bend her, I'm against kind of like race bending just because especially since that's a historical figure. But at
Well,
least get an actress who can act
I
because she's kind of wooden. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no worries. I'm just gonna say I think I figured out why they're getting rid of redheads.
Oh, why?
So I think it was you that mentioned it, but the way that a lot of slaves were treated, the people that the handlers, if you will, you had the owners of the plantations, but you had the handlers, and the handlers were
Yeah.
Irish, or generally Irish,
Oh,
or somewhere around there. And
Yeah.
well, look at their hair color. Everybody associates with the Irish.
Yeah, red
Red
and the
hair.
freckles on the face. Yeah.
Yep, red hair and freckles. So whenever there's a redheaded character, they get offended, so to speak, and they need reparations. So thus they say the best way we don't be able to get said reparations is by replacing them with black characters.
Yeah, we'll start with them.
Because a lot of African Americans have Irish in their DNA.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
technically speaking, on the genetic level, they're not changing the character. It's still Irish, if you will. So they're playing a shell game, basically.
Wow.
Who was that talking? Who was that just dropped?
Is that Lord Sandwich?
Indeed, it is.
Lord Sandwich.
Wow, man, that's a
No, that's a good theory.
Yeah,
that's actually a good theory.
Yeah.
But,
that's actually a good theory.
Go ahead.
Mind blown. That's all I
was just gonna say, I like your idea, especially with the nanites. The only problem is it kind of had a similar idea, except it's a little bit different. I guess you'd say it's generic. But going back to Project Paperclip, you had a lot of Nazis and stuff like that traveled to America and the Soviet Union, so on and so forth. You had a lot of these experiments, so on and so forth. So I had an idea for a character by the name of Mr. Wolf. And Mr. Wolf is a guy just as big as Luke Cage, African American, with Lex Luthor's intellect and evil motive, along with Batman's fighting abilities. But he has the added bonus of pheromone manipulation and speed, strength, agility, because he was the product of some of the experiments. And he's behind a lot of civil unrest, both political and economical, because he's the big puppet master. So think of a guy like Kingpin. He knows how to fight, he just doesn't want to.
Yep.
And this guy is a special kind of dirty bastard, if you will.
He's a special kind of dirty bastard. That has to be a line in the book.
Because what he does, he's a businessman. So when he takes out another business, what he likes to do is when he's forcing the other person to sell, he'll generally basically steal their wife. And so not only is there the humiliation of losing your company, but losing your wife as well, completely destroying them.
Jesus, this guy's petty. That is super petty.
He's all about power. It's not necessarily pettiness. It's about power. He sees himself as the superior being amongst humans. And his plan is using nanites or nanotech to alter the genetics of people to give them animal-like abilities to create villains and heroes and militaries across the world, so he can capitalize on creating more genetic beings, like superheroes and whatnot.
Yeah.
And not only that, but there's another company that's a tech company that he's associated with that will also make a big profit fighting these guys. And so, yeah, that's Mr. Wolf.
Sick. That's sick. That's good, man. I like that shit.
The problem is, I don't have a hero that I can think of that'd be able to fight him. So,
yeah. Let's see. What you said? He looks like Luke Cage, but kind of like Lex Luthor, though.
Yeah, he's big and burly, So think of like a mix between Mr. T and Terry Crews.
Okay.
And he's really, really strong. I'm not sure if I want to go like bald, but it's kind of a classic in a way. So I'm trying to figure out the best style. So I'm thinking of an awesome, awesome beard. Because come on, you gotta have an awesome beard, man.
Yep.
Dude, are we talking a James Harden type of beard or a different kind of beard?
I actually don't know what his beard looks like, honestly.
Dude, go on the line and go look up Tunisian hairstyles.
Tunisian hairstyles.
Yes, Tunisian hairstyles. They are the masters of the fro.
So I was thinking of going with a like a fade, like your classical fade, but at the same time it's like kind of overdone and very stereotypical in some respects.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Go look at Tunisian hairstyles. Like a lot of the Afro punk, Afrofuturism type stuff is hairstyles are drawn from that. It's wild, man. Like these people for like thousands of years, they've been doing up. They've been the kings of hair. You gotta check it out.
Why am I only getting women?
Because Tunisian women are a novelty these days on the internet. I've noticed.
Let's see.
You see Tunisian Afro. You look up that.
Yeah. Tunisian hairstyle. Tunisian, like, I think it was Tunisia. I could swear it was Tunisia.
I put it Tunisian man hairstyles.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of really wild stuff. You should be getting a lot of that crazy wild stuff.
Nope, they're just giving me fades.
What? Man, we gotta go. All right, that's it. Road trip. We're gonna get Tunisia's groove back.
We're going to Tunisia.
But yeah, let me see. Dan Fogarty. Dan, we have.
I'm doing awesome, Fogarty. Dan Fogarty. It's the beginning of the week. We're talking about how to fight against cancel culture. Talking about comics. Doing what we do, right? Doing what the comic book creators should be doing.
And before I forget, one thing that I think a lot
Zaid
of people...
Comics. What's up, Zaid? Yeah, I'm sorry, go.
Oh, no worries. A lot of people see the loud mouths, but they don't necessarily see the other side of it.
Yes, that's true.
I'll give you somewhat of an example drawing on my own past because I'm not perfect. So when I was in middle school, I think this was the 7th grade, there's 2 kids that wanted to be my friend, but one of them was annoying and one of them was, well, for lack of better terms, everybody saw him as a loser. And so they both wanted to be my friend, and I just didn't want any of that. I wanted to be left alone, so on and so forth. So me and this one guy were kind of in the same boat. We devised a plan. And the plan was to get a USB or a jump drive, download some porn on it, and put it in this guy's bag, for schoolwork.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my God. You guys are petty.
No.
But,
that's so petty.
But it gets worse. So we ended up not going with that. Because it was just like, 1, we could get caught, and 2, that's a little too far. I mean, we don't want to go that far. We just want to be left alone. So instead, I decided to play the middleman. And basically, one guy would complain about the other guy and vice versa, and I would let each of them know. So I was kind of feeding the beef. And it got to the point where there's a death threat, and they included me in it.
Jesus.
And so I'm just like, okay, this is too far. This has got to stop. I took it way too far.
You think?
So I ended up snitching, and the cops were called in. There's an investigation and everything. And one guy got expelled, and obviously the guy that wrote the death threat, and the other guy was forced to move back to Texas. So there's that. So you got for lack of better terms, like the puppet masters. Those that want a specific thing, and the best way to get it is to keep these people pitted against each other and focused on each other's sins, while they can do whatever they want behind the scenes. So,
dude, that's diabolical.
Very diabolical. Wow.
But here's the best part about it. So fast forward, I got my just desserts, by the way. Fast forward, I moved to Michigan, and like first few months I was in college. And in Arizona, where I lived, the school system was designed, or at least the schools were designed by the same person that designs prisons. So the schools look like frickin' prisons. It's basically a prison town. You have high gangbanger rate. You know, a lot of people thought they were gangsta and whatnot. They'd sell drugs. They'd have knives and weapons on school. You basically had, you know, for lack of better terms, prostitution. You had a lot of different problems. So me experiencing this, I knew a lot about prisons and the way that the inside kind of worked because I was basically in that environment. So when I moved to Michigan, my grandfather wanted me to be a corrections officer. So he pressured me into taking corrections classes. Well, I paid some darn good money to be there. What ended up happening is I was a little too good. I kept asking questions and answering questions. Well, some people that didn't want to do the work, who had family in these systems, really didn't like me. So around the time of the gay nightclub shooting in Florida, I believe, they got together, wrote a letter to the dean of students claiming that I was a homicidal maniac that was going to go to school, shoot it up, then commit suicide.
What the hell?
Oh, it gets better. So the cops obviously got involved. So they came in, knocked on my grandparents' door, asking to see me, asking to talk to me.
Yeah, you're technically swatted. That's what that is. You're technically swatted.
Yeah. So that being said, I talked to them. We had a reasonable conversation. They're like, well, you mentioned guns and you're talking about guns and stuff like that. I'm like, it's Michigan. People hunt guns. I mean, I didn't say that, but just throwing that out there. So they're like, oh, well, okay, well, we'll go talk to the dean of students now. So they came back and they're like, yeah, so if you step foot back on campus, you'll get arrested.
Jesus.
And the best part is my grandfather decided to get involved and basically told the cops that he was afraid that I was going to be a serial killer. Because, you know, he's a small town guy. He doesn't understand city very much. And he doesn't understand, you know, different generation, different problems. So they did a so-called investigation, and they ended up lying to my grandfather, saying that I was failing and I had all the markers of, you know, somebody that was going to commit homicide or a school shooting. Well, later on, it was revealed, my grandfather found out that they lied to him. And so I had to move back to Arizona. And once I got to Arizona, my parents and my whole family, immediate family, moved back to Michigan. Fast forward a few months later.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So,
okay. All right, go ahead.
It's weird. So my dad goes to talk to the president of this college. This is a community college, mind you. So the president's like, well, why doesn't he tell us what happened? And my dad basically said, because he's not allowed on campus unless you want him to get arrested. So I had a written letter by the president to come to the campus and tell my side of the story. So I went to campus and I told him what happened. He's like, well, you got to talk to the dean of students. Now, mind you, the dean of students never talked to me at all. The entire time. There's no real investigation. So the dean of students talked to me and she's like, wait a minute, how old are you? And I mean, I'm 26 and I already look like I'm a 40-year-old stalker in my grandparents' basement staring at a computer screen full of kids. I mean, just saying. So I was 22 and I'm like, well, gee, thanks. I know I'm balding, but still. She's like, well, just the way you hold yourself and the way you talk, I thought you'd be older, like 28 or something. I'm like, nope, 22. And needless to say, she's like, yeah, you're not expelled anymore. It was a bad call and so on and so forth. And I was allowed back on campus, but I'm just like, yeah, sorry, but after I was treated like shit, I'm not going back. Which is honestly what I think Gina Carano should basically say. You guys treated me like shit. I am not coming back. I'm done with you. Off with their heads. Be gone, Satan.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's easy for us to say that though, because it's
It
not
is.
our career. It's not our career on the line. It's her career. You know what I mean? So we're not gonna pay her bills. I don't have enough money to pay for Gina
Oh, yeah.
Carano's mansion mortgage, right? So it's really up to her to go ahead and make the choice that she wants to make for herself. If I were her, I would do what you suggest. Tell them to go fuck themselves with the nearest, sharpest, longest object.
No,
But
rabid porcupine.
with a rabid porcupine, yes, you know what I mean. That's
Or
what I
choke
tell
to death on fish bones.
them with fish bones. Because the thing is, the people who do this cancellation stuff, they're taking their cues from Maoist China and Soviet Russia. This is not none of this is new.
Oh,
They're doing they're doing these things called the social credit system.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, where they get to decide if your social life is dead, if you get to shop anymore for food,
Yep.
all these different things. But let me see, it's rolling up on 2 hours. We need to shut this down. Any last thoughts from anyone here?
Oh, hey, what's up, bro? Tap.
Hey, what's going on?
Um,
Who's the
it's
who's this?
Dan.
Dan, what up, Dan?
I just wanted to make a little announcement.
No
Last
doubt.
night I had I'm getting the finishing touches done on another demon for World War Hell.
Good.
And if you want, once it gets completed, I can go and reveal it on the stream if you would like.
Absolutely. I'd love that.
All right.
I'd love that. You know, whenever you're done, just let me know. You are you connected to me on Twitter?
I don't know.
You don't have Twitter?
Yeah, I do have Twitter.
Okay. Who are? Well, I mean, unless you don't want to give that out here, but
Oh yeah, I don't care. It's on my profile.
okay. So, who are you on Twitter?
Let me see. I am at World War Hell DA1.
World War Hell. BA1.
Yeah.
BA1. There we go. Gotcha. Now I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna follow you, and then if you could go ahead and follow me, then we can message each other.
All right, awesome. And when I get
Yeah.
that done, you'll have the first world reveal of this demon.
Yeah. Can't wait. Just let me know.
It's
You know?
very, very Clive Barker-ish.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that you guys have been revealing, they are kind of Clive Barker universe-ish, you know, like Hellraiser and these sorts of things. I like that a lot.
This one's this one's the worst one I've made.
Good,
This is
good,
This is horrifying.
This is horrifying.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell my I'm actually gonna probably fork out a little bit more money for him to actually put visually what it does to you.
with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. But all right, so let me see here. Let me wrap up shop here. Like, comment, subscribe if you are. Like, comment, subscribe if you are not sure that you're subscribed. Hit that hit that subscribe button again because YouTube be playing games. Hit that bell for notifications if you're on any social media platform. Go ahead and share a link to this channel. Share a link to this page, this video. Let's grow this platform. Let's get more brains in the room.
Yeah.
And as far as the topic tonight, I gotta speak to my people real quick, like black people. Once there's somebody you don't like on there, and they start canceling them, you have to remember that at some point you're next. So don't fall for the trick bag. Ain't nothing nice about trick bags.
Right, my fault. I ain't worried about it, nigga, but here's your burrito, homie. Nigga, I ain't ordered no motherfucking Postmates. Judging by your crib, you be smoking that good shit. You probably forgot you ordered Postmates. Go ahead, man, open the bag, man, jog your memory. Damn!
Nothing good comes from a trick bag. So don't fall for it. And if you happen to see anyone who is canceling people for no reason, what you want to do is institute a policy of separation from them, because that's kind of like a virus, and they will spread to your social life, your social media life, and all these different places. So that being said, there is a way of surviving cancellation, and many of our panelists have covered what that is here tonight, which is to insulate yourself from the mainstream media. If you insulate yourself from the mainstream media, they can't touch your job. Whether that means that you have a job that's secure in some sort of union, or if you work for yourself and you make your own money and they don't even know who your clients are. There are many ways to isolate and insulate yourself from these poisonous, venomous people. Right? So that's the one way to survive cancellation. The third way to survive cancellation is to become an industry unto yourself. The things that they wanted to cancel you from a project like a movie or a comic book, in the case of Warren Ellis, or an animated show or anything like that. Become an industry unto yourself and make your own thing. That way they can't cancel you from it. If they're trying to cancel you from the mainstream comic book industry, well, even rats know to flee a sinking ship. Right? So you don't need to be in the mainstream comic book industry anyway. You're going to go in there, you're going to work your ass off and make no money, and you'll be at the beck and call, and you will be kowtowing to these political ideologues. And the minute you show some spine, some backbone, some chutzpah, and you disagree with them on one single thing, they will cancel you. Right? Just like they canceled everyone else. So that's about it. That's about it. And wherever you are in the world, have a good one. Ending broadcast in 3, 2, 1.